Hello, I welcome you once again as we yet look at another lesson on how to carry out ICT Practicals online. We shall also briefly look at how you can utilize the online facility and the offline bit of it. I'll straight away launch my browser, go to classroom.google.com. Be requested to provide my email and password as usual. I'll provide and save. I'll be presented with a platform showing the various classes I'm signed up as a teacher and also enrolled in as a student. I'll pick one class in which I'm enrolled in anticipation that I'm already signed up or I've already joined a particular class on the Google platform. Assuming that this is the computer practical or the ICT practical that I would like to work on, when I click on a particular assignment, I'm presented with this very useful resource. Allow me to pick on a particular practical in one of the classes. For instance, in this particular class, you can see that there is a practical, and this practical is an ICT practical. It's under the instructions, students are to use the different applications for the corresponding numbers as like we shall see. So if I clicked on this particular work, I can go ahead and download this file. I can download it as a PDF document or as a Microsoft Word or whichever file that I want. When I say download as PDF, as per my browser, this file will begin to download. I save the file. So if I clicked here, I will go to my downloads, and right there I have this file of interest. I can open this file using any PDF viewer on my computer. So these are the different questions that I'm supposed to do. I have a word processor number, I have a spreadsheet number, e-presentation number, and an e-publication number. Okay, I hope you picked those steps. I'll get back to the class in which I'm assigned as a student. This class, I will assume this is my assignment and it comprises of these questions that I'm going to do. So the first approach, we're going to look at how to do this online without need of installing a given application on your computing device. So since I need a Word application, so I'll make use of this particular section of the platform. I'll click on add or create. This time round, for my word processor, I'm going to use docs. I'll let the application create for me that file. Then when I go back here, I can still create another file, and for my presentation number I will go for slides. It is an online e-presentation application from Google, and you can clearly see that each time I create an application, automatically it opens in new tab. I go back to the platform, add or create. This time I want a sheets file for my spreadsheet number. I'll give it time to be created. Now all these files are centrally stored on my Google Drive, meaning that each time I make an update on a given file, I don't need to keep saving. Automatically they save online to my Google Drive. If I'm in need of another file to create, drawings, I go for it, and right away this application will create for me that particular file. Now for my Word document, basing on the question of interest, I'll go in and do the needful. I'll do the typing as usual. Assuming this is my typo, then Google Docs, just like any other word processing application, many of us are familiar with this interface from our experience in other word processors. I'll draw your attention to just a few things. I believe others you discover with time. If I wanted to insert a table, I go to the insert, and voila, I do have my table. If each time I want to insert or bring something to my digital document, I make use of the insert tab. So all these can be inserted in my document. Basic formatting, still I wanted to do formatting right there, depending on the instructions. All this we have. If I wanted to call in headers and footers, right there, I can set my margins and then provide for my header and footer. I can increase the font face. I can change the font, and I can do basic formatting and editing. Then one key aspect when it comes to renaming a file while I'm in Google Doc, I need to just click here, Ctrl A, I've selected all that. So assuming the instruction needed me to give this file as a particular name or give it a specific name, I could give it a name. When I click out, now my file up here has been given or assigned that name. Then once I'm done with what is required of me, I just close, and all my changes will be retained. The same will apply for my presentation number. This is a slide. If I wanted, just like in many other presentation numbers, the first slide is a presentation slide. If my presentation is about Uganda, I could come in and type Uganda, maybe by I could still do basic formatting to my slides. You know, in presentation, an object is anything that we can get to our slide. So if I have this selected, it implies that this can be changed according to what I want. I can increase on the font size, change the font face to a font of interest. I can play around with the text color. I can do quite a number of things right here we can insert anything. It could be a graph, it could be an image, mention it. Then we have basic formatting. Under this formatting tab, you can see quite a number of things that I can accomplish. Then under the slide tab, we can attach transitions. We can also edit or call for the slide master of our presentation. When I go to view, I can view master, and then I click on the master of all masters. This implies that anything I place here, the adjustments I make on this master of masters will be reflected all through when I switch back to the normal view. For instance, I could decide that my titles should have this as the font face. They should all be of font size, oh, let me check, 48. Could even use 36. I could even decide to pick a color of interest for all my titles. I could also insert some simple shapes. There I have my shapes. Maybe I'm interested in having this shape run all through. That's my simple shape. I could give that shape a color of interest, and then I could also duplicate the shape this other side. Down the Control key, then we have a duplicated shape that I could decide to take this other side. So briefly, I have a simple customization of my presentation, meaning that if I closed out of the slide master, right there I do have my customizations. If there is something I want to make a change about, go back to the master, go to the master of masters, and then make the necessary adjustments. Close out of the master, and voila, I have my presentation customized. Go back to the master. Each time you feel there is something that you need to change. Away from the master, if I wanted to bring up another slide, where if I have this selected, when I right click, I go for new slide. For instance, maybe my first slide is to look at the districts in Uganda. This is just dummy text. So I have my two slides. I can go in and apply transitions, apply animations, like we shall see. When I go to the slide tab, I can go for transitions. By default, there is none. And we know that transitions occur at slide level. So I'd go in and say, maybe this is the transition that I want. I can decide to apply that transition to all slides. When I click on play, my transition will show up. Let me stop the playing. Then still while this interface is up, I can do basic animations. Select the object that I want to animate and click on add animation. Come in and decide on the animation of interest. Maybe I want that to fly in from top. Should it be on click or after previous? If it is on click, I say on click. Then I can specify if I want to animate that by paragraph. If I played that animation, so when I click, that's what will happen. But remember, the second object is not yet animated. Select that, add animation, and then come and pick a given animation of interest. Maybe I want to zoom in on click, so I can still play this. Each time I click, voila, that is my presentation. I may not take out all the fun. I'll let you try this out later on. Just like our first file, if you wanted to give this a customized name, we come in, let's first stop the animation, we click right there, and then we can give it a name of interest. Oh, let's assume that's our fancy name. Then all we need is just to close out of that. The same will apply to the spreadsheet number. For instance, up right here we have a presentation, a spreadsheet number, so we could come in and do the needful. These are the different cells, type in as instructed, and then for instance right here we are told to create that and save it as our name. So we could go in right here, give this Ctrl A is to select everything there, and give this a name of interest as per the specifications. Oh, I'm forgetting my name. Joram. Yes, that's what I would like to have as my file name. Do the needful, type. These are the different cells. Just like how you've interacted with other spreadsheet applications, you can as well do this. And after doing all as instructed, close out. The same will apply to this for basic desktop publishing. Do the needful, give the name as instructed, close out. Now, like you can see, if we go back here, you can see that we have 4 files. These files contain our work, implying that if I'm comfortable with everything that I've done, I can go ahead and turn in my work. When I click on the turn in button, I'll be presented with the files that I'm turning in, and then I can go ahead and click on turn in. The minute I click on turn in, all these files will go to my teacher right away. Okay, allow me to cancel out of that. Now finally, method 2. Method 2 would require us to have done this work using applications that are locally stored or locally installed on our computers. So assuming that I downloaded the file that contains the question, and then after downloading these questions, I created a folder on my desktop. Okay, this is my desktop. I've created a folder, and in that folder I have my different files. The files that I've worked on, I have a word processing file, I have a presentation file, e-publishing file, a spreadsheet file, and probably a database file. Now this will not require me to have an internet connection all the time. I would only connect when I want to attach the files and hand in. So I would come in and do this, open the Word file, do the number as instructed, close, open the other files, do each and every number. Now when I'm ready to submit my work, I come and click on add all, create. This time I want to add a file, so I will say I'm adding a file. This interface will pop up, used to uploading our files. So I will click on select files from my device or from your device. Since I already have files, click on that, browse or navigate to the folder that contains my files, and then I will select all these files. Hold down the shift key to have these files selected. Since they all contain my work, I say open. I'll click on upload, and there, like you can see, all these files have been uploaded. So these have been uploaded, so I can decide to go ahead and turn in. Mark this right, that if I've used online applications, I don't need to upload these other ones. Or if I'm going to use offline applications, then I will not use the online applications. So if I'm ready, I can now hit turn in. Now for your case, depending on the approach you take, you either have online files or you will have offline files, that is files you created offline and you're just turning them in. And for demonstration purposes, I'm going to assume that my files, I worked on my files online. These are my files, so when I click on turn in, they will show up, turn in. And within a few seconds, my work has been submitted. Let me unsubmit to demonstrate to you the other approach. So assuming I didn't do my work online, assuming I didn't do this work online, I could as well go to add or create. I'm adding files, select from my device, that is one. I can add more files. Let me select one, hold down the shift key to select others, open. Then I can now upload my files. So you should be having something of the kind. Give it a little time to upload, and thereafter you can turn in your work. Turn in. Here we are. Our work will turned in, and then the teacher will be in position to review my work and then assign a grade. But for the question in context, we're supposed to do this work online and in a way familiarizing ourselves with some of these online applications. I hope you find this lesson useful. Thank you for listening. Stay safe and be blessed.